Can you imagine if the government teamed up with some of the country's major social networks and online retailers to assess your worth as a citizen, and then assign you a simple numeric score based on the data they collected? It may sound like something out of George Orwell's 1984, but in China this isn't far from becoming a reality. The Chinese government has been working with some of the country's biggest social networks and online retailers, namely Tencent and Alibaba, to create a system they call Sesame credit, which is comparable to the US credit score. However, instead of simply taking data relating to tax payments and such, this new system assesses how obedient you are to the government. For instance, liking or sharing a state-sponsored news article will increase your score. But if you post pictures of Tiananmen Square, discuss political taboos, or endorse radical ideas, your score goes down. Being partly run by one of the country's most prolific shopping sites, it also has access to your purchase history. So if you're buying work shoes, local produce and so on, i.e. things that are deemed valuable or useful to a productive citizen by the state, your score will rise. Buy foreign video games, movies or music on the other hand, and your score will go right back down. Expressly because the government believes that those aren't things a productive, trustworthy member of society would use. Sesame Credit is set up like a game with tiers and levels, with rewards for reaching the various milestones. And these rewards have real-world repercussions, from making it easier to get a loan to making international travel easier. But more concerning is that they're also considering the implementation of penalties for low-scoring citizens. This could range from limiting internet speeds to restricting the jobs you're allowed to hold. Worse still, being connected to a social network, Sesame Credit also scans your contacts and will penalize you for associating with people that have low obedience scores, which is made all the more worrisome because you can, at any time, check someone else's score, and when you check your own, it provides a convenient diagram showing your friend's scores, so you can see who's dragging you down. This is by far and away the most disquieting aspect of the whole system, because everything I've discussed thus far is designed to incentivize behaviors in individuals, using positive reinforcement and Skinner box tactics. But by giving those individuals the ability to see others' scores, and have those scores tangentially affect everyone they associate with, Tencent and Alibaba have incorporated a far more subtle but equally insidious means of controlling the public. They've made social pressure systemic. With little to no input from the government, anyone who subscribes to Sesame Credit is being conditioned to uphold social norms and reinforce the government's values, and impose them on any low-scoring citizen they know, be they friends, family, or even children, in order to maintain the rewards and social validation they've worked so hard to earn. Even if the person on the receiving end isn't susceptible to that social pressure, they may well end up becoming socially isolated as more and more people choose not to associate with them. This makes it functionally impossible to circulate ideas that may be dangerous to the regime, or are deemed too radical. While it's true that genuinely dangerous extremist groups fit into that category, they'll be greatly outnumbered by noble causes that seek to raise awareness for political corruption and social upheaval. Or for that matter, regular decent people who happen to indulge in leisure time activities and hobbies that happen to lower their scores, or want to spread and comment on sensitive issues. And if there's still any doubt that this is something out of dystopian science fiction, it's worth remembering that Sesame Credit is calculated by an algorithm which doesn't take account of context. Remember when I said buying foreign media was among some of the things that would lower your score? That remains true even if you bought it as a gift for your child or younger sibling. Sesame Credit is currently opt-in, but many have said it's very difficult to avoid, and a variant of it will be made mandatory for all Chinese citizens in 2020. I sincerely hope what I've said will help, at least a little, to convey the potential for misuse this system has, and maybe even convinced a few to fight against it before it's imposed on all of China. My name is Patrick Sears, and thank you for listening.